What up, what up? All my scientists, my artists, my philosophers, my geneticists, my roboticists, my biologists, my archaeologists, my astronomers. Let's get busy. This has been Busy from the Burbs. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This has been Busy from the Burbs, broadcasting to you from Osaka, Japan. I am joined by a very special guest, a very good friend of mine, Jada S, King Cobra, Jake the Snake, Snizza. What up, what up?
Woo! Benny, how are you? World, how are you, world?
I'm good, man. I'm very good. It's really good to hear from you and to talk with you after so long. I mean, it's
Yeah,
been forever.
this guy right here is one of my close friends for so long, and it's great that we get to connect because you coming out of Osaka and I'm coming out of Los Angeles, and we're able to connect through the wonders of technology.
Yeah.
And I'm on your podcast, which I love listening to. So I'm
Yo,
super
this
hyped
is
to get busy, man.
yeah, this is tight, right? Yo,
It's funny how we both are MCs and musicians, and now we podcast.
yeah, man. Yeah, not only that, we're similar in many ways. Granted, you got some height on me. I think you got like a good foot on me
You
as far as
probably got
height.
some muscles on me though.
Yeah, I don't know. I've gotten a little bit heavier, but the fact that many people don't realize that we share the same birthday.
Yep. It's the only dude I know in my whole life with the same birthday as me too.
Shooting the 22s. We
Yeah,
got
man.
dual
March
22s
20
on this podcast.
Awesome. It's great. It's a good connection because I think there's something when you meet somebody with the same birthday as you.
Yeah, man. There's like something. There's gotta be something there. I'm not much to put stock in like astrology and shit
Yeah.
and horoscopes and whatnot, but there's definitely something there that connects people. Just the fact that they're born on the same day or whatever, they're from the same town, whatever it is. You know what I mean?
You know who puts a lot of stock in astrology, Benny?
Oh,
Is girls. They like that.
yes, they
If you ever
do.
look at their social media, like their Twitters or their Instagrams, it's always like, yo, Virgo does this and that and like all the good attributes
Right.
associated with their astrological sign, but never like, oh, but you're batshit crazy or you're stubborn or whatever.
Do you get a lot of that with chicks on the West Coast that are like really kind of into this new age spirituality, like meditation, yoga? Like, I'm not against it. I'm not like trying to like cast aspersions on it or whatever, but like, do you get that a lot with chicks out there?
Yeah, definitely, man. A lot of girls really into gemstones and
Yeah.
Reiki healing, a lot of Reiki healers and
Patchouli.
yeah, lots of patchouli though. But I
Yeah.
mean, I'm kind of into to some of. I mean, shit. I was in an ayahuasca ceremony last night. And a lot of,
Yo, for real?
yeah, man. I get down, man. I get down with the dimey, the light.
Damn, yo.
Yeah,
Hey, what? We're like, wait a minute. Hold on. You were in
yeah.
an ayahuasca ceremony last night.
Last night, yeah, that was like my 10th one.
Holy shit. You're good to just like go in, dip in,
I went
and jump right
alone
out?
last night. I've done one-on-ones or like 3-4 person ones, and like then I've done a couple big ones. Last night was probably about 55 people.
Damn.
And I
That's fucking
drove there
awesome.
alone. I don't really know. I know a couple of these people, and I only know them because I met them at another one a couple months ago. So I don't really know anybody there. And I drove home at night, imagine like
How long
any
does it how
hallucinogen.
for those who don't know, ayahuasca is a traditional like it's a medicine
Yeah,
from
it's a
South America.
vine,
Yeah.
a root that grows in South America and Hawaii, and when you chop up the vine and then brew it alongside the leaves that come with the plant, the two of them together produce like they release extreme amounts of dimethyltryptamine in you. When you just smoke DMT, which I've never done, that's just smoking the vine bark part. But when you mix it brewed with the leaves in conjunction, it's an extra
Completely different
powerful
experience.
thing. Yeah, it's intense, man.
From what I know about the grass, because I had acquired some of these materials in college to attempt to make the brew, but never was able to make it happen. The Phalaris grass contains an MAOI inhibitor, which
Yep,
prevents
exactly.
your whatever stomach acid from
Yeah,
breaking it down.
It does, yeah, and like that's because you have that DMT in your body already.
Right.
Your body only puts it out when you're born and when you die because the
Mm-hmm.
trauma is so intense.
Mm-hmm.
So like I mean, because there's DMT in like all kinds of shit, but it
Everything
doesn't
that
have the inhibitor.
photosynthesizes, I think,
Exactly,
has
yeah.
DMT in it.
But without the inhibitor, it doesn't. We don't trip out. So when you mix the vine and the leaves together in this disgustingly tasting cold brewed tea,
Uh.
it's magic. It is magic. If nothing else is
Yeah,
magic,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
magic.
Oh, yo, so what's the onset like? Are you good to just like, because I know from reading trip reports that DMT is like the fastest acting and the fastest disappearing, like hallucinogenic effect in the world of hallucinogens.
Yeah,
Like, is it good? Like, you're able to, because what I hear from like the people that go to South America for like the
yeah,
ayahuasca rituals, they're like out there like all day, like
yeah.
all night
It's a
throwing up.
long one, man. I mean, DMT is 15 minutes. And like I said, I've never smoked DMT, but it's only 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But when you drink, depending on how much ayahuasca you drink, and usually you drink a couple rounds per ceremony, you're looking at like 6 hours average,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes 8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And then even when it's done, when your shaman person closes the ceremony,
Mm-hmm.
it's like hypnosis. Like you kind of snap out of the real intense trip.
All
You
right.
like kind of just mellow out, even if you're going nuts. But you will still be feeling this. You'll still be quote unquote tripping for hours to come. You'll
Yeah.
still be seeing shit and feeling shit, but you're functional. It's not like you're not still purging and wilding out. And
Right.
even days after, you can still feel it working through you. You know.
Hey, is the purging like all everyone that takes it throws up?
So no, say like last night I didn't throw up or shit.
All
But
right, good to go.
sometimes you throw up and shit. Sometimes you only throw up. Sometimes you only shit. Sometimes nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on a lot of stuff. One, what you've been eating and putting in your body. They always say, and this is what I do too. 3 days prior to drinking it, you don't drink alcohol. You don't do drugs. You abstain from sex, and you don't eat heavy foods, fried
Mm-hmm.
foods, real carby shit. You eat
Yeah, yeah.
light. And the day of, you really don't eat much, but a light breakfast, maybe
Mm-hmm.
just some greens. But it just all how it hits you, man. Sometimes the magic medicine hits you in a certain way. Sometimes others. Like I didn't even really go that deep last night. Was probably the lightest out of all 10 times I've ever gone.
That's
So I
based
didn't
on
purge.
how much you actually drink.
I mean,
Like,
it's that, and sometimes it's also the brew itself. Like how
okay.
potent is it? Because some people make it lighter than others. Sometimes it's not as made as well. That's why I would never tell anyone don't buy it online.
Yeah, yeah.
Like some people do it. It's not going to be good. It's really important to invest in that shit and get it, from the right people.
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
can't really. It's not like you can score that shit on the street corner. Like you're only going to get it from someone who can legally administer it in these
Right,
like
yeah. It's
religious
got
sects.
because it's legally sanctioned as a
Yeah,
religious
sacrament.
ritual. This is like
Yeah,
a
it's like peyote to Native Americans and stuff. Yeah.
right, right. Now, you said that there's the shaman that's leading it. Now, I hear that music is like
Oh yeah.
integral to the
Oh,
experience. How
it
how
is it,
big is music in the ayahuasca experience?
in the ceremonies which I go to, and I know it varies. There's always at least 4 people on guitar, a couple
Mm-hmm.
people with conga drums or bongos,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone they're like these shakers,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a really common sound in all the songs that go along with a lot of ceremonies that I
Mm-hmm.
go to, and it's like it sounds almost like a snake's rattle, and there's a lot of serpents involved in ayahuasca
Mm-hmm.
ceremonies. People often claim to see serpents of all kinds,
Mm-hmm.
and the serpents have a retina on their pineal gland, so they
Right,
literally have an actual third eye,
right.
where we just have a pineal gland. So it's all associated with that. And these rattles kind of sound like snakes, and the music is beautiful. It's crazy though, because I'll be going through it, really,
Yeah.
bugging out. And then I look over at this other guy who drank just as much as me, and this motherfucker's playing the guitar like Jimi Hendrix. I mean, acoustic,
Yo.
but I mean, they're just in it. They're so tuned in.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how they can control the music. I play drums when I've been tripping like that, but I don't think I could play. I can't play those songs on guitar. They're too hard anyway. Sober.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear that it's like the musical ritual, like the people singing, like the
Yeah,
songs and stuff is so important. Now,
it is. It's
when you
beautiful, positive stuff. So you need to
yeah,
hear it.
yeah, right? Because it's all about healing. It's all about restoring and optimizing the human being or the health or whatever, like making sense, kind of bringing order. But it's also rather chaotic. I'm wondering, like, when you go into this is like a journey. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like
yeah.
you're like going to Mars, but you're not leaving Earth. What kind of information? What have you learned from the experience? What have you taken from it? What has it taught you?
I mean, these are my personal ones, but you'll find these to be common amongst anybody who's experienced it.
Mm-hmm.
Is like humility. You're
Mm.
taught to be humble.
Mm.
You really like learn your place in the universe, and
Mm.
in like people always like to say, oh, you're special, we're special. Like, we're not that special. And I
Right.
don't mean to sound like a dickhead when I say it, but
Nah.
it's like, and I mean it, we're not that special in that, like, this shit humbles you to realize, like, we're actually more connected than you think.
Yeah.
This is a very big universe. There's a lot of things going on. It's not all about me. That's what I mean by you're not special. So this shit really humbles the fuck out of you. Dude, this shit took my ego and busted it in a million pieces when I first tried it. And I'm way more humble. Like, when I used to run around on stage and rhyme and this and that, I definitely had a big ego, and that shit is gone.
Yeah.
It also takes away a lot of your aggression. You're not as angry, so you're not as mad, you're not as violent, you're way more forgiving. That's the biggest thing I learned was forgiveness. Forgiving others. And you don't always forgive others for them as much as you do it for yourself, because this huge weight goes right off your back the second you start to forgive people. So you're learning to forgive maybe your parents or family members that you felt did things that were wrong at some point, ex-girlfriends or competitive people in your business, or a musician that you feel got a break that you deserved, or whatever little grudge you didn't even know you were holding subconsciously. You learn to forgive. And then you also you ask for others' forgiveness. It brings, you really get, you feel, it makes you more empathetic and shit. And those are I think the main things that most people pull away from it.
Yeah, I mean, those are all. That's all of those things are like something that like everyone should experience. I feel like everyone should get. Those are like, this is like, for those who don't realize it, like a hallucinogenic or psychedelic experience is something that is almost like a rite of passage for human beings. I'm not saying that it's for everyone. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, like, everyone in their own time, by their own means or whatever. But there's something really important about it, I feel like, in terms of like your total life experience. Now, whatever. People might be like, well, yeah, so is climbing Mount Everest, so is skydiving, so is this, so is that. Everyone's got a bunch of different lists of check boxes that they need to check off. But, for me personally, I feel like it's a significant experience that needs to be.
Probably had a huge impact on the person you are.
Yeah, it certainly did, man. Like, especially during the time at Northeastern, man, that was just like a really kind of crazy, chaotic time for me, interpersonally and just like personally as an individual. Like, there was like, I don't know, a conflict there that was in me, and I can't say that hallucinogens actually kind of help not the problem, but the situation, because I think like in some way, like, it actually may have exacerbated issues which might have otherwise been resolved through just kind of naturally growing. But I chalk it all up to like a learning and a loving and a living experience, you know what I mean? And it's like, I have nothing but good things to say about, these tools. I mean, that's what they are. They're fucking tools, introspective tools to learn more about yourself, learn more about others and the world in which you inhabit, and so on and so forth.
Oh, for sure, man. And I think an important thing I would keep in mind is that, like, these things aren't necessarily here to fix your problems, but they're here to maybe show you the problems. Because, like you said, it's introspective. And people really hate looking at themselves.
Yes.
We really hate to look at ourselves, because then we have
we love to look at our good side.
Yeah, exactly. We love to look at, oh man, look what I did. I got this raise, I got this car, I got this fly girlfriend, I got whatever it is. I got this fly husband, I got this new diamond necklace. But the thing is, like, we really hate to look at ourselves and criticize ourselves. We hate to get critical because we don't want to break our own egos. And it's hard to. So it's scary. And I think that's why a lot of people like to drink or do cocaine or something that doesn't make you think about your shit. So when you do hallucinogens, people are worried about the bad trip. Well, that really just means probably overanalyzing in your mind your things you don't like about yourself. So it shows you your problems. It's when the shit's done and it's the next day or the next week or next month, do you want to fix those problems that you now see? Like, I don't like that. Like, what I learned is, like, I used to be a cheater, man. I used to cheat on girlfriends. And I didn't ever really feel bad about it in a weird way. I knew it was wrong, but I never literally felt bad.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell me it's wrong, but it didn't hurt me. And
Mm-hmm.
then, like, a year and a half or something ago, drinking ayahuasca, I realized I was like, this is fucking horrible. And I
Mm-hmm.
went and came clean to an ex-girlfriend I had cheated on and things like that. And I could never do it again because now I saw how wrong it was and I've really made the effort to never do it. So you
Mm-hmm.
gotta, like, there's that saying, actually, Jay Electronica has a line. It's like the church you go to pray in it, the work is on the outside, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, yeah, you could, like, the shrooms or acid or whatever you take might show you some shit you don't like or that you want to change, but you got to go do it eventually, you know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, the one thing that I encounter with like talking about this is that it's steeped in so much taboo. There's so much fear surrounding it and like ignorance where people are like, "Oh, they're talking about drugs. Oh, they're talking about the drugs. Oh, hide
Just
your
write it
wives,
off. It's
hide your
not.
kids."
Yeah.
They're talking about drugs to everybody out here. You know what I mean? Like it's rape. Like we're talking about rape or something
Yeah.
fucked up. Like not that rape shouldn't be talked about. I'm all fucked
But
up
I
right
know
now.
what you mean. I know what
You
you
know
mean.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like there's a taboo associated with it, which is BS. Like as a mature society, we should approach these things, like scientists. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
dude, you definitely should because these. I mean, we're writing these things off,
Mm-hmm.
and they should be studied and understood because there's so many beneficial and harmful factors to different substances that we need to know about. You
Mm-hmm.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you man. What's so like? I've been to Japan before,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a longer time ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember like hash was everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
and at this time you could sell shrooms legally. They were literally selling them on the street corners, on like where people would have tables set up that would sell other shit, and you could even buy them and go into these little rooms and trip out. But like, you
What?
could get weed. If you got weed there, you might like get thrown in prison for who knows how long.
Yeah, Japan is. I'm not sure about the shrooms. I know that mushrooms, like
Change. I think they're
classically,
illegal.
shrooms specifically, I'm not sure about. But I know mushrooms in general in Japan are really like that's like a cultural thing. So that doesn't sound too hard to believe that they
Yeah.
would have something like that. I haven't encountered it in my years in Japan, but I don't know. I really haven't spent a lot of time in Tokyo either, so maybe it's more of a Tokyo thing. But as far as like just other drugs in general, Japan and Asia more broadly they're so behind the curve. They're so behind the times. Like it's still the fucking 50s here, and it's
Yeah.
reefer madness and fucking.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Like
Yeah.
you know.
You always read about people like in like Southeast Asia and Thailand or Singapore getting hanged for having some ganja or something like that.
Yeah, right. It's like
Yeah.
Jesus. They're
Scary
really
ass.
behind the curve over here with that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I think eventually, like, the tide is turning. Obviously, in the United States, we see it, and it's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like, this ridiculous drug war is going to finally come to an end, and
Yep.
people are going to be responsible. It's going to be brought out of the darkness, and it's going to be, a legit thing, and people are going to consume responsibly. You know what I mean? Like, and hopefully that rubs off on Japan and Asia at large in general as we go
Yeah.
on. But we'll
Yeah.
see about that. So, all right, wow, this is awesome.
Yeah,
Yo,
this is
what are you working for? Those who don't know, Jada S, an accomplished musician, like at least 20 years in the scene.
not that long. I'm not that old.
Well, you know what I'm saying, like
10
like
though.
crazy amount of time devoted
Yeah.
to the craft, the art of of being an MC, of making hip hop music. Now acting. Now you had the live band. Like, what's going on like right now as far as your artistic endeavors are concerned? What are you working
So
on now?
I
What
kind of
takes
like
up most of your time these days?
I like kind of stopped doing the Jake the Snake thing a couple years ago because I was really not feeling the music industry and I was
Mhm.
not feeling the climate of hip hop in particular. And
Mhm.
I was like probably at my biggest point, and then I had some records on the radio. I was doing really good, had this buzz, and then I just had a lot of people that were helping me,
Mhm.
kind of telling me what kind of records to make,
Mm.
or not telling me what kind of records to make, but saying, hey, you should make records like this. We need to do these, and I was ended up starting making music I didn't even like in retrospect
Mm.
I didn't like it, and I was just so sick of how bland everybody was and the shit that people were like they were giving, you be real about some shit, and they were criticizing you, and like people could come and bite and steal and be corny as fuck, and that was getting like praised, and it was like blowing my mind. It was like in a bizarro world. I couldn't understand it, so I just said, "Fuck this!" I was out. I just deaded it, and then I just wanted to start making music with a little different sound, but I didn't want to do it under my thing because people are gonna, if it comes out as like straight hip hop, but it's a little this or that, people are quicker to judge. So I started this band, Blue Gold. And we just kind of like
out of New York, right?
Yep. Everyone but me was from New York. I kind of just wanted to make like, music like a classic rock blues feel, or sometimes a little funk feel, but it had like hip hop elements to it too. And that was cool. We rocked for a couple of years, put out a project, toured a bunch, and then I just moved to Los Angeles.
What prompted the move to LA? Like,
man, I just had a few things. I just needed to get the fuck out of the East Coast. It was wearing me down. I figured a change of scenery.
You felt like it was like Dark City, like that movie Dark City, where it's like the dudes in the trench coats everywhere.
Exactly, dude. Yeah, it was just like depressing and wet and cold, and I don't know, man. I always wanted to live out here, so I figured now.
I know you still got love for New York,
I love New York, and Boston's home, and I love the East Coast in general. Yeah. I wanted to just see some new shit, and so I came out here, and I'm doing a little acting shit, and I'm still doing music, doing like songwriting. Actually, got a little kind of like a sync licensing publishing deal, so doing some more behind the scenes shit.
What is a sync licensing?
So like, if you have that means like the company, the publishing company, whatever, they shop your music to TV, movies, video games, commercials for placement. For sync licensing, and you get like checks, you get up front, and then you get royalties, and so that's cool. And doing that, and then podcasting the whole shit, man. I got the Russian Souvenirs podcast, so that's been going on.
Yeah, Russian Souvenirs, which I love. I love the podcast. You just had what was it? A member? It was a fellow musician.
My friend Ali, Ali Fuderer. She used to play bass in my band Blue Gold, and then she has her own band, the Astronauts, and she also does a lot of session work for a lot of musicians. She's real good.
Tight. And I listened to the Bubba Gennady podcast. Had me rolling, man.
He's a very funny comedian. I'm just lucky to be friends with him, It's hilarious.
Man. Oh my God, it was fucking hilarious. Yeah, I've checked out his stand-up on YouTube. He's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, he actually has a show tonight in LA. I couldn't make it. I go to a lot of his shows though, so it's cool.
Now, are you living in LA right now?
Yep,
or are you north
right in Los Angeles, man. I can't give away my exact location. I don't know.
I got you.
But yeah. I'm right here in the mix of it, man. Close enough to the beach for surfing, but not too far from all the cool shit.
Yeah, I hear you've been surfing a lot.
Like a madman. I started a couple years ago in Mexico, and just got hooked. So now I can do it like every day, or a couple days a week.
Now, a few people really know like the unique qualities of you as an entertainer, as an athlete, as a performer, but for the longest time, you were actually a sponsored skateboarder, right?
Yeah, yo, Benny, I love it. Yeah, that was my shit from like age 10 to almost like, I'd say like 19.
You were like damn good too, right?
I did my thing. It was like, there's always a few things in your life that you're good at, and that was definitely one of them.
So maybe like some of that like transferred to your ability to master the surfboard?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I don't know if I even mastered it, but the few years I've been doing it, I've been able to progress kind of fast compared to a lot of people. And it's probably because I've been skating, so much of my life. And I still skate out here. Actually, me and Special Blend, we go skate. I don't do crazy shit, though. I'm not jumping down big stairs and railings anymore. We're just cruising, doing little tricks, having fun.
Yo, you got one of those hoverboards?
Dude, those are the fuck. What do you think about those?
Okay, so me personally, because I'm like kind of like a technophile. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of dig technology.
Yeah.
I like them.
You do? Really? I'm surprised.
But I'm also living in Japan where technology's fucking everywhere and shit.
Yeah. They probably had those for years by now over there.
Yeah, but that's the other thing, like, not too many people have them around here, and like I haven't encountered D-bags on hoverboards. You know what I mean?
That's all it is in fucking Los Angeles, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Everywhere.
Fuck that.
First off, let's be honest. Let's call them what they are. They're not hoverboards.
They're not hoverboards.
Jake Fox, Marty McFly had a hoverboard.
Yeah.
It's on the ground. It's the wheels are touching. It's just you're not on the ground.
Right.
And you know what the thing is that I don't like about them?
What?
nobody looks comfortable on them. Everybody looks like they're always about to fall. Like I've seen dudes like I saw the rapper Game on a fucking,
No.
he has a show on TV, some chick showed me. It's like a dating show where he just has like 20, 30 girls trying to date him. He rolls up into them, right? The first episode, it's like 30 women in a bar waiting for him. He rolls in on a fucking those hoverboards and he almost fall. I think he does fall. And it just,
oh my God.
You can't be like a gangbanging blood, screaming murder in your raps and riding a hoverboard. I just can't fucking take it, man.
Nah.
God, the rap game disappoints me sometimes.
Yeah, it's become a parody of itself, hasn't it? Now, in the pre-interview, we talked about the Billboard top 10 MCs of all time, or rappers of all time. Pac's not even on that list.
That right alone, right there, should tell you that discredit that whole thing. You know?
Yeah. What the fuck? They put Biggie as number one, which to me, and I've made this case before, I think Pac is a better rapper just technically than Big, but I won't get into it because I know that's like a whole thing. I got respect and love for Big, no doubt.
Of course, because who couldn't, you know?
Right, but and
I wouldn't even be mad at the argument, like if they wanted to put him number one. I'm like, even though I always go Pac, I won't be mad at them. But then you go and not even put him in the top 10.
Yeah,
that's fucking ridiculous. That's sacrilegious, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you can't trust non-hip hop outlets. Like you can't trust you shouldn't give a fuck what the Grammys say or Stone. Or they don't come from this hip hop shit. Like we as hip hoppers should have never given them any credibility or act like we care what they think. Because at first they didn't. It's better when the source was all hip hop and it was just the MTV raps and shit like that. When it was just for hip hop, motherfuckers.
Yeah, with all due respect to Stephen J. Horowitz and Alex Gale, like.
Who's that? I don't know who that is.
They're the two guys that wrote this article, 10 greatest rappers of all time.
Oh.
I mean, it's just more clickbait shit. That's all it is.
Clickbait.
Like clickbaity shit. Like, oh, look at the top 20 ways to fucking undress your lover or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, could be anything. Like, I don't know. Totally disagree with it. What are you listening to in terms of music nowadays?
I listen to a whole bunch of shit. A lot of non-hip hop. I listen to a lot of like obviously old soul and old classic rock and jazz, man, on vinyl. And then I listen to a lot of like Tame Impala and Fantagram, Dame Funk, Night Jewel, shit like that, you know. But then I listen to like weird bands like this band Goat, which is kind of like world music, or Black Angels, which sounds like some New Age Sabbath. Then I listen to like J Electronica and fucking Freddie Gibbs, Absol. I like Kendrick's new album, for hip hop. Less hip hop though. Yeah, I do. I love Kendrick. Yeah. He deserved to be number 10 on that list, maybe.
Yeah, he was on.
Maybe
that
I don't know. Maybe not though, because we're talking all time. He's too new to be all time. He's probably on his way. He's on his way, but you can't say that yet. I don't think he should have been on that list yet, just cause too soon.
Well, now you mentioned some world artists, some different musicians.
Yeah.
I know that you heard about what happened in Paris recently.
Oh yeah, of course.
Did you see the photograph of the crowd that was taken before the gunman came in?
No, I haven't seen any. I only read about it. I haven't seen any video or pictures.
Like, everyone's smiling, everyone's happy, everyone's having a good time. It's like such a tragedy, you know what I mean? Like this senseless violence. And don't get me wrong, like a drone strike that incurs collateral damage itself is senseless as well. Just as much. But like, this shit was just like so fucking unnecessary. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, what do you think about that? Like, do you think that war and this kind of violence is just ephemeral and temporal and will...
What does ephemeral mean?
Ephemeral meaning like it's short-lived.
You got
like,
such a good vocab, Ben. Like, you're so smart.
Good looking out.
Seriously.
You know what I mean? That's why they pay me the big bucks, yo.
You
do. No, but I'm saying, like, do you think that it's going to stop at some point where people will, like, just stop murdering each other? Or do you feel like this is what it is to be human?
I like to say that we evolve, and we definitely have evolved as humans in a lot of ways from certain traits in the past that we possess. So I'd like to assume that maybe we could evolve out of this, state of violence. But shit, man, look all the way back. This shit's always happening everywhere around the world. different regions at different times more than others, but like, and I don't know, man. Sometimes I'm like, maybe that's just the way it is. Like, maybe we are really animals, and just because we don't live in the jungle killing each other for food directly, we doing it in other ways now because we've evolved so much in other facets of this human life that we don't just rip each other apart for flesh and food and stuff.
Right.
We bomb and terrorize and steal
for money
oil,
and oil and
that
shit.
shit. Yeah, man. So I don't know, man. It's tricky. I'd like to say we could evolve, but we haven't evolved out of much violence, have we?
Nah, I
We
know,
still
right?
we still watch women kick each other in the head in the octagon.
Yo,
So you know what I'm saying?
Rhonda.
Like, we still love violence, man. Even if it's like not people getting murdered, We're
Man,
still in the Roman Coliseum.
it's true. It's true. I just saw this link, fucking Japanese bug fights, but I haven't gone to it yet. I wanted to check
Insects
it
fighting?
out. Yeah, they like get a bunch of different weird insects and like battle them out, like we used to do when we were kids, you know what I mean? Like you get the spider and the fucking worm or whatever. Worm was just
My boy made a fighting fish fight once in high school.
fighting fish.
Dima, Derek Ma. You remember my boy Dima?
Yeah, Dima, man.
Yeah, him and this other kid would make fighting fish fight.
Oh shit. Yo,
Is that cruel?
I like Dima. I feel some regret because my last interaction with him, I kind of was a fucking asshole.
What did you do?
Basically, like, I was jealous of his success.
Yeah.
And I was looking at like the state, the situation that I was in. There's no excuse. I was just fucking ignorant, and I was an asshole, and I fucking made a comment about how whatever, like the business that he was in, like the only reason that he was at the level that he was at was because he was like born into it or whatever. And it's not fair, you know what I mean? Like, just because someone is born into affluence does not necessarily make them a fucking asshole. And he wasn't an asshole. Every interaction I ever had with him, IRL, meaning in real life, face to face, was always 100. He always kept it 100.
He did.
And it wasn't fair for me to tear into him like that, but there was, I don't know, it's like the ghosts of inequality were just fucking haunting me. And
just when you see stuff like that, it's hard to not feel those feelings, though. Like the immense kind of wealth and where it comes from and how some, it's especially if like someone didn't really earn it and it's more like their parents or something.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, how are you so lucky? And it's easy. Like I get upset like that too. So it's not like unfathomable.
Yeah. But and then also you also see how like, everyone's dealing with their own shit. You know what I mean? Like, being a human being is fucking hard work.
Yeah, dude. I mean, every day it's fucking scary out there, man. It's scary to get the fuck out of the bed and face yourself in the mirror and go like live life and shit. Mm-hmm. And so it's it's hard to do that.
No matter who you are, if you're Donald Trump or you're fucking Daffy Duck, like it doesn't matter. Like, life is hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is.
We got to be more compassionate towards one another. I don't mean to get all lovey-dovey and shit.
No, dude, I'm all for the lovey-dovey. We should be lovey-dovey, man. Drink some ayahuasca, drink some daime, get lovey-dovey.
But what do you think about justice, though? Like, with the Paris thing, like, these motherfuckers came in and just raked the fucking audience with AK-47.
Dude, that's fucking horrible, bro. I mean,
what should be done with those people?
If one of my friends or, God forbid, a family member was in there and got killed, I'd be out there trying to take heads with my own hands. Yeah. So the more personal it gets, the more likely you're willing to go really do it yourself. I mean, I think that's why you get a lot of these dudes joining ISIS or doing things like that, because maybe they lost a brother, an uncle, a mother, or some shit to some drone strike or whatever. Right. So that's why they're so down to go. Like, dude, if you killed my motherfucking mom or my uncle or you, if someone killed Benny, I would be down there to take that guy's head off with my hands.
Blood feud.
So, I mean, I am down with justice. I actually love justice. It's a great equalizer, and sometimes God might bring justice, sometimes man might bring justice, but I don't really know where I was going with the justice thing.
Well, I think once you drop the G word, we're gonna have to define that. Like, what is the Jada S definition of God before we get into it?
Yeah, everybody got their different thing. I don't know, man. My shit is like not denominational or not. I don't. It's not for Islam, for Christianity, Judaism, or whatever. It's whatever anybody's definition of God is. Mine's just energy. It's like the world, the
Energy.
universe. It's like it's a force. I feel.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it's like
and
this.
so
It
yeah,
it's like this perceptible or otherwise imperceptible force that kind of imbues all existence. Like so, it's not this isn't like a physical thing that you can
yeah,
identify and
yeah.
measure.
It's not a guy in the clouds with white fluffy hair and a robe, or it's none
No.
of that shit. It's not something like that. And I don't feel like I need to be in a church, a temple, a synagogue,
Mm-hmm.
a mosque, or whatever to get connected to that. I think because it is the universe, I'm in touch with it now. I guess maybe you could. I would not say I'm religious at all. It's more spirituality, I guess. But
Yeah.
that's just some powers that are out of my control belong to
Right.
that.
I've been um what would you call it? Like, I mean, I keep it agnostic, right? Because
Yeah,
I think that agnosticism is the most scientifically honest position to take. Because as scientists, we don't make snap judgments. And because we don't have all of the data, we can't say conclusively that there is no God or that there is a God. So I kind of walk that line of like agnosticism, but I lean towards atheism, if that makes sense. So I'm
yeah.
like a soft atheist.
I used to be atheistic, and I used to I kind of believe that, like, well, you're the sole controller then, like you can be God because you control your destiny and your fate. But that actually puts a lot of um
We call that
inappropriate
solipsism.
pressure, on people. But my whole shit changed, man, because I seen some shit. I could talk about it off air. I don't want to freak your listeners. I could talk about it here. It doesn't really
Yeah,
matter.
you can talk about it. Go for it.
Yeah, I just seen some shit that changed me. Where I used to not really, I was probably more atheist than anything, or because I would see shit like somebody really good, a good person, good soul, right, working hard, honest person, and they're getting fucked over in life. Shit is horrible. And then I'd see like some scumbag man, like no morals, making all this money and happy. So I was like, well, there can't be a God. This is ridiculous.
Right.
But then I had a crazy experience and I seen some shit.
Can you get into it? Like you don't have to
I don't,
get
yeah,
into it.
I don't know, man. People gonna say I'm crazy. This is how you get locked up in the padded
In
room, right?
Guantanamo Bay.
Exactly, dude. So I don't want to get too into it on air, but what it changed, man, it changed my perception of those other things. Like, well, why is this good person suffering and this bad person's winning? And it's not like God, or my definition of it at least, is not someone up there like tipping the scales to make everything even. It creates things. He, she, whatever you want to call it, creates stuff. But a good man might be just, sometimes it's how the cookie crumbles. Some things are just the way they are. There's not like, this man might not be having a great life and he's a good and honest man. That's not fair. That sucks, but life isn't fair, right? And the bad guy, well, he's taking shorts to get ahead and he's probably dicking people over. And he might pay for that. He may not, but he might. And like God does do equate things, Sometimes things will get evened out. Maybe not in this life, maybe not in the physical, maybe at the end of his life. So we don't know, but I think people, well, if there was a God, no one would be starving. That's not how it works always, really. That's not how
It
I view
depends
it.
on your
That's not how I
definition of
find it.
God, right? Because
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
if you're a deist, then that kind of what you just described there is kind of like deism, which is that there is a God, but there is no personal God. You know what I mean? This was the God of
Yeah,
like the founding fathers of the United States and shit. Like they felt like he was just the watchmaker. He made
yeah.
the watch and threw it away into the universe and whatever. Like he's not listening to your fucking prayers. You know what I mean? He's not
Yep.
gonna talk to you.
Yeah. And that's I think like I don't know this, but like a lot of the Native American, their tribes believed. I don't know if they would call them gods or what they pray to, but they were kind of like that, more spirits of things, and
The
not
spirits,
necessarily
yeah.
expecting them to play judge and jury and executioner up there. I think that's what people have a vision of God, because there's a lot of words like judgment is big in a lot of the three monotheistic religions, and so I think people are expecting, well, justice is going to come by God because you did wrong and I did right. God's going to get you, or But I do believe in karma though now. I didn't used to believe in karma at all. I believe in karma now because I got dealt some bad karma after doing some bad things, and but
You just process that shit
what's
and keep it
what's that
moving.
phrase? It's an old army phrase. My grandfather used to tell me. He's like, "There's no atheist in a foxhole." You ever heard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
And
they call it Pascal's Wager, which is that if I believe in God and there turns out not to be God, then that's fine. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But if I choose not to believe in God and then it turns out that there is a God, then I just fucked myself.
Yeah.
It's better to like leave the
Yeah.
door open. That's why I said
Yeah.
I keep that agnostic line. But I feel like so much religion these days is so divisive and it leads people down believing in hilarious shit like
Yeah.
horoscopes. And like
True.
you said, they're waiting on fucking justice to be served by the universe, and it's like, no, motherfucker, you are the instrument of justice. You need to fucking be the one to say some shit, because the dude with the white beard is not gonna come out of the cloud. Like Amadeus said, motherfuckers are awaiting Jesus or a spaceship. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, what are you guys waiting on? It's not
Yeah.
coming. Like, you need to make it happen yourself.
Yeah, it's true, and I think it's always easy. Motherfuckers are lazy, man. Motherfuckers are lazy. They'd rather hope for or pray or wait for something like that than actually having to buckle down and do shit. And that even fucking shines through when you look at something like these terror attacks are going down, and whenever shit like that happens, people get really activist like on social media, but they don't really hit the pavement with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's real easy to like talk all that revolutionary political shit from your Facebook status, but no one really wants to put the effort in, because it's like they want change, but maybe they don't want it enough. Now that's all, and that's in America at least. I'm not saying the world, but on social media, it's so easy to post this or that and feel like you're actually doing something.
I've observed this, man. I agree with this. I want to just disclaim on the outset, like, people are protesting these days for free college, and like, I'm all for it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I believe that like people have a right to education, etc., etc. But there is this meme going around, in some of my fellow Marines who are reposting it, and they have this like protest shot of these kids marching for free tuition, and they're like, I wanted free tuition too. This is what I did. And then they have like underneath there's like a picture of like a bunch of Marines like walking. I think that this generation has been so coddled. I don't know if you're familiar with like all this social justice warrior stuff that's been going down. I'm the first person to stand up for fucking people's rights. If they're being fucking fucked with, or there's some kind of inequality or injustice that's taking place, I'll be the first one to fucking be like, hold on, motherfucker. Like, this ain't right, But this generation, I feel like it's to a crazy degree where like their life is so, they've never experienced any type of adverse situation in their life, to the point where like they are looking for things. Life is so perfect for them, they are trying to engineer a struggle that doesn't exist for them, or they're trying to co-opt someone else's struggle as their own to give their life meaning.
Yeah, man. Man. And people also hate saving themselves. They'd rather try to save somebody else.
There are those people.
It's a lot
the
easier.
Messiah complex motherfuckers.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Yeah, there's like people just always go way too far to the right or left with shit. Like, you said, I know you, and like anyone that knows, that you are like the first man to stand up for that kind of shit.
Yeah.
But people like take it and they want to go so extreme with shit that they start looking for ways to be offended, looking for things to be upset with. And they kind of really miss the point of some of these things. They get caught up in semantics and they get caught up in labels, and people are also love to fit in, or they not that, but they hate to look like they're not. So like people, shit, as soon as like something happens, like these attacks in Paris or whatever, people want to take to their social media to make disclaimers of, so everyone knows that how wrong that they think it is, because they wouldn't want people to think that they're insensitive or they don't care or whatever. It's like, do you really mean it, or you trying to tell me so I think you're a good person? It's like the person who's always taking photos at the concert. Are you really at the concert because you wanted to be there for the music, or did you want to tell people you were at the concert?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And
like,
I
put
see
your
a lot
fucking
of that
phone
shit.
away.
Yeah, like, dude, I honestly, in the last couple of years, maybe never post on my social media about political shit anymore. And you know me, I used to be extremely political and very active in a lot of things.
Yeah.
Not just putting in music, but doing it. And now, dude, I mean, I still do things, but I don't engage in political talk on my social media because I just don't want to. I don't want to argue with anybody on there. I'm never gonna do that, and I don't even bring it there. I just, I just say some satirical shit or something.
It's like if people are gonna do something, like actually fucking do it. Like, did you see that meme came out recently where it's like it's a picture of this kid and he's like all excited in front of a computer and it says, "Posted my French flag Facebook status update. Terrorism defeated."
Yeah, that's hilarious. I haven't seen that, but that's fucking spot on. Like,
It's like,
and I mean,
yeah.
I know that shit helps raise awareness, and I'm all for that. Raising awareness is good, but like, don't give yourself a big pat on the back for making the flag thing. Like, like, and I don't know shit. If you live in fucking Kansas, what can you do about that in Paris? But there's all kinds of ways you can be active in your community and shit. Like actually active, like go vote in some small local elections. Go volunteer at the motherfucking soup kitchen. That's more activist than fucking, just making your background a France flag. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
No, I'm not taking away from that's horrible what happened over there. Like people can't misconstrue what I'm saying here.
Yeah,
That's
but it's like
horrible.
do the flag thing and then actually go and do something.
Yeah. Or
You
just
know-
do it something. Yeah, do your thing, man. Like do
Yeah.
something.
People are of the mind that, and I think it's because we've lost touch with the fact that we lost touch with what it means to have a strong work ethic. And some people get it and some people don't. Some people know and some people don't. Some people were taught and raised and born like that that life takes work. Anything worth doing takes work. It takes sweat. It's going to be fucking hard. You're going to fucking hate life and you're going to fucking want to quit. But if you keep going, something will break. And then there's other people that weren't given that because they were born into a suburban lap of luxury with fucking silver spoon in their mouth on some Drake indoor swimming pool shit, and everything is fucking just gifted to you, and they don't understand that.
Yeah, it's true.
So now they're like frustrated. They're like frustrated at the world. So now they take to fucking social media to complain about this or complain about that. But like you said, like volunteer in your community, like get active in your area where you are. Clean your fucking room. How about that? Like fucking
recycle. Are you recycling? Just fucking recycle every day.
Yeah, just recycle. If you could just recycle,
take a shorter
that would be
shower.
great.
Take a shorter shower.
Yeah, take a shorter shower or take a shower.
Yeah,
you know
or take a shower. Do me a favor if I gotta ride the fucking train with you.
Oh God. That was interesting what you said about like local action speaks louder than global talk, I guess.
Yeah,
and
sir. And you can actually probably make a fucking impact. You'll have more of a chance to make an impact.
This is exactly the philosophy of this guy. I've been invoking his name a lot in podcasts lately, but he's a great intellect, and I try to put everybody that I meet onto him. His name is Nassim Nicholas Taleb. And
I heard you talking about that dude. Who is he?
He's a former quant, which is like a quantitative analyst for like hedge funds and fucking finance. But he was like the black sheep in the industry because he stands by fiscally responsible like financial policy or economic policy. And when he saw like all of his colleagues engaged in all of this like really nefarious financial wizardry, like they were like fucking Saruman from Lord of the Rings, evil wizard, like fucking doing all kinds of crazy shit to like get money, he was like, this is bullshit and it's not sustainable and it's gonna fucking collapse. And he called out the fucking the quants in his industry or like the hedge fund managers on these toxic assets that led to the fucking 2008 financial collapse, like years before people had even known about it. Anyway, he talks about how there's this quality called anti-fragility. Anti-fragility is a quality of a system whereby when you expose it to pressure, when you subject it to criticism or stress, it doesn't break. It actually becomes stronger as a result of that. And he says that there are certain systems that exist in the world that have this quality. One of which, he says, is local governments. Local governments and local communities have a stronger anti-fragility coefficient, he might say, like a rating, higher percentage rate of anti-fragility than larger systems like your federal level shit. And like, not only are they more anti-fragile, but like things actually get done. Like, that's where the rubber hits the road.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree with that. I mean, sometimes, man, it's just hard to think that you can make a dent in some bigger global or national level shit. And especially when you see the motherfuckers stealing votes and rigging shit. It's like, how can you even have faith that you could have impact? You know? And I think you think a little more locally, it's a little easier to actually work for some kind of change, make it attainable, and then it builds up a stronger force. And then, you're building bridges between local towns and cities, and then the whole state turns righteous, and then the whole region. You know what I'm saying? That's how you can do it.
Exactly.
But I just gotta say, Benny, you're so goddamn smart. And when you talk, it's like if you listen to my podcast and the difference to yours, it's like you're on fucking like in one of those like really good classes, you know?
Yo, man, fucking, hey,
so
man, you have a swag that can't be duplicated, can't be replicated. And I enjoy very much talking with you, man. Like, I look forward to being on the Russian Souvenirs podcast and fucking.
Can't wait.
We'll
Can't
do it.
wait. You're gonna be guaranteed. I'll make this bet right now. The most intellectual episode ever will be when you're on. And I don't even know if our listeners are ready for your genius level shit. I mean, they're gonna dig you though, because you're a righteous, smart, intelligent, fly brother. So
I'll set the bar, man. I'll set the bar, and motherfuckers fucking. That's it, man. My whole philosophy is just drown them in intelligence, and eventually they're gonna fucking swim, because that intelligence is not gonna kill them. When people shy away from using big words and shit, motherfucker, it's just a word. That's it. That's all it is. It's just a fucking word. You
gotta give me like a list of good words. I need to expand my vocabulary for.
I should start a fucking like weekly vocab list. Like,
yeah, please,
Benny's
man,
fucking vocab for the week.
I need some new vocab, and I'll get a word and I'll really rock it hard for a while, and then I'll beat it to death.
What's the last word you beat to death, yo?
Fuck. I think I was using appropriated a lot.
Yeah, appropriate.
That's not like a big word, but I just tend to have been using it a lot lately.
That's a good one. Here's a word that goes along with that anti-fragility thing that I was talking about. There's this quality, where you go to the gym, you lift weights. What happens to your muscles? They get bigger, right?
Yeah.
They don't get fucking smaller. That quality, that anti-fragile quality of muscles, the quality is called hormesis. Hormesis is when you subject a system to stress and it doesn't buckle. It doesn't fail. It doesn't fucking fold, collapse, shatter, break, splinter, fracture. It fucking gets stronger. It's called hormesis. There's another word I want to hit you with. Have you heard of this word? It's called apophenia.
What the
Apophenia is a fucking mental state in which people see patterns in things that aren't there.
Oh, so like if you're maybe drinking ayahuasca or some shit, you might be experiencing apophenia?
Yeah, like you're associating, like when you look up at the clouds on a day and you see a fucking rabbit. You see a rabbit and a freaking cow or whatever you see in the clouds. That is apophenia. Your mind, the human brain is fucking fascinating. Terence McKenna called it the most densely ramified, complexified object in the known universe. And it's true. We have these constant algorithms running in our frontal lobe, in the neocortex, which really distinguishes us from the lower primates, is that we have this extra structure in our brain. And one of the roles, one of the things that it does is it's constantly looking for patterns. It has built-in pattern recognition. So it's looking for patterns constantly. When you look out into the clouds and you see that rabbit, that's that pattern detecting, like Google recently made a new version of that in silica. They may have a digital version called DeepMind. I don't know if you saw some of these crazy photographs where it's like the Google DeepMind algorithm looks at a picture and then sees all of these hidden animals. It looks like for animal faces in the ones that I saw. And that's the same thing. It's like it's pattern recognition. Apophenia is when you see patterns or recurrences in things that aren't there. And it's good and it's bad too. Because you got motherfucking, with all due respect, crazy people like doing the I Ching or whatever, or fucking doing the lottery. They see numbers and they play the numbers or whatever. Like, that's the same fucking thing. It's good and it's bad. It works and it doesn't.
Shit's crazy, man. Damn.
But we're just about at the end of our hour. Jada asks, where can people look for you if they're looking for your work, for your music, for what projects do you have coming out soon? Like, you got a website? Where can people look for you?
Yeah,
check you out?
You can go to bluegoldmusic.com and see some of the Blue Gold stuff from my band, or soundcloud.com/bluegoldmusic. You could probably find a lot of my Jada S stuff on YouTube, soundcloud.com/JTHES. On social media, I'm at JTHES. And that's where you can find the Russian Souvenirs podcast, soundcloud.com/Russian Souvenirs. Hilarious podcast. And yeah, man, we got a couple things behind the scenes coming that come to light soon, and just podcasting like a motherfucker, man. And such a pleasure to get busy with you, B.
Yeah, man.
Fun, man.
Yeah, man. You're welcome back anytime. Let's do this more often.
Yes, definitely, brother. Thank you so much.
No sweat. So yeah, check them out. Russian Souvenirs, Jada S, bluegoldmusic.com. This has been Busy from the Burbs. Thank you very much. We'll check you next time. World peace.